So this is not going to be a very long and in-depth video. I'm going to be looking at a report about an upcoming film. I'll probably make a comment or two and then leave it at that. I feel like there's not a whole lot to say about it. Honestly, I feel like the actress says it all for us, I guess. So, I am not a major comic book reader, collector, or anything of that sort. Most of my experience with a lot of comic book superheroes and characters comes from their cartoon, TV, film adaptations or video game adaptations. In the case of Red Sonja, I have never read a single one of these comics. I don't know the lore and backstory. I only know the basic history from the internet and, of course, from, there was a film in 1985. I have actually purchased the comics, though, specifically for the artwork. I actually haven't even opened those comics. I leave them sleeved. I have a decent little collection of comics, but they're all just, oh, look, a special run of Mega Man. I want to collect those. A special run of Battlestar Galactica. I want to collect those. Red Sonja. That's hot. I'm going to collect that. That's about it, right? I'm not a huge comic book guy. However, I find this an interesting take as this is an upcoming movie, and that's something I do focus on. So, coming from superhero hype, Red Sonja, Matilda Lutz, who is apparently the actress playing in the film, talks reboot and changes from the comic book. Now, as I read this, and then I'll make a comment at the end, I want you to consider how this whole scenario has worked out repeatedly for different adaptations, movies, whatever, and just keep that in mind. Red Sonja star Matilda Lutz, who, by the way, I didn't know who this was until I looked her up. She apparently was the star of the 2017 movie Rings, which, if I recall correctly, is the continuation of The Ring and The Ring 2, the horror movies from the 2000s, which I do love. Matilda Lutz has said the upcoming reboot will be more empowering and less eye candy than the original comic book. While promoting her new movie Magpie at South by Southwest, Lutz shared details about Red Sonja's production with Collider and praised the reboot's director MJ Bassett. Quote, "It was a great experience. The prep and stunt rehearsals, horseback riding were all things that I hadn't done before. So the whole process of prepping was amazing. Working with MJ as a director was incredible," Lutz said. And what I think is different from what we know of Red Sonja is that it was and the comics as well, was very male gaze oriented. And this is a completely different story. It is a very empowered woman. And that's what I loved about the story. I don't know yet when it's coming out, but I'm very excited to see it. I haven't seen anything yet. End quote. The article continues. Part of what made Red Sonja a standout in the comics was the Barbarian Huntress iconic metal bikini. Though Lutz teased the change in direction for the character, she confirmed that the bikini remains part of the movie, except, quote, not as an exposure kind of like element, which... English, please?
Well, maybe it is stupid, but it's also dumb.
I mean, it was the thing, Like, even in costume rehearsals and building the whole costume was like, I felt very exposed. But what I love about it is that the bikini is used in a completely different way from the comics, Lutz added. So I'm excited to see what the audience is gonna think. I don't think she's very excited to see that. I think... How many times do we have to do this? How many times do we have to take properties that were built by, for, and made popular by the male gaze and by male audiences and think we're going to take those, change those, and have them still be successful? It's just not going to continue to happen. The thing is, what they always lose here is the male gaze is everything. Men are visually oriented creatures. We see things, beauty, sexually, just aesthetically pleasing things, and we are drawn to them, to check them out, to enjoy them, to get to know them, whatever it is. And the way this was working in comics, movies, video games, every form of media, entertainment, and society in the past was that it drew you in and exposed you to these ideas. Red Sonja, by my brief investigation, is in fact a very powerful warrior character. She's also built to be very visually appealing, in the artwork. So what happens is male audiences, they become interested because of that cover art, or because as they flip through it, guess what? They get to enjoy what they see. But at the same time, they also become invested in the character. They come to know this character and care about her as a person. It was the same thing as movies. Like, for instance, for me, it would be like Underworld. I obviously was drawn to those films because I got to see Kate Beckinsale in tight leather. But that was the gateway. It brought you in, and then you became invested in the character and cared about who she was, and were exposed now to a powerful, independent female heroine. So what you're doing now is counterintuitive. You're taking away the thing that men enjoy, that males enjoy, that draws them in. And now they don't give a crap about your character. And you try to say, oh, well, you shouldn't. No, I'm sorry. That's just not how it works. We like things that are aesthetically pleasing. We like females and characters that are aesthetically pleasing. That's what's going to draw us in and get us to watch. If you want us to see a character that is powerful and independent and is a hero or heroine or whatever, you're going to need the other things. Otherwise, we just don't care. And you're going to keep investing this money and no one's going to care. And I think it's amusing how she says, so I'm excited to see what the audience is going to think. Well, it's not going to be what you think. So who is Red Sonja? Obviously, she was introduced as a character in Conan the Barbarian. And then, of course, they made a film with her that starred Bridget Nielsen and Arnold Schwarzenegger back in 1985. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting because they keep doing this to properties and then not knowing why they fail and people aren't interested. Well, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You have this little agenda you want to push with female characters in films, but you take away the reason that males want to see that and why they would care. We had plenty of that before. There was a time in my life where I wanted every single movie to be female-led. When you put cool, fun, attractive characters in front of me, that's what I wanted. So I don't care what anyone's anti-male views on this are. I'm not saying this is like some sort of pro-male thing or anything. It's just, this is simply how it works. Males are attracted to things that are visually appealing. There's a reason why females, like why women, why they are visually appealing. So that men are attracted to them. And so that they want to protect them, take care of them, get to know them, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. That's just how nature works. And it's the same thing in media and entertainment.